Demon of the Revolution. Leon Trotsky was a man of passionate enthusiasms, and all his hobbies eventually grew to the scale of state policy. Having become interested in Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis, Trotsky gave the green light to psychological experiments in the country of victorious Bolshevism. The implementation of Freud's methods resulted in the opening of a unique kindergarten laboratory designed to grow people of a new type. The foundation of this education was, naturally, the psychoanalytic ideas of Sigmund Freud. Vasily Stalin, Stalin's son, attended this kindergarten. But when the world-famous institution became surrounded by unpleasant rumors, the outcome was rather peculiar. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything interesting. At the dawn of the 20th century, the ideas of psychoanalysis were spreading rapidly in Russia. Articles by Sigmund Freud were actively published, and it is worth noting that Russian became the first foreign language into which the psychiatrist's works were translated. Party bosses considered the fashionable new trend of psychoanalysis to be a tool for creating a new type of person. It seems that the followers of pure Marxism intended to gain control over the unconscious in the people's psyche in order to gain control over human behavior. One of the admirers of Freud's teachings was Leon Trotsky. In his interpretation, psychoanalysis could be used to eradicate religion. At his initiative, starting in 1922, a group of scientists and public figures developed Freudianism on the basis of the Russian Psychoanalytic Society, RPSAO. The work of the analysts was supervised by Lev Davidovich, though not only by him, who later shared his convictions with academician Ivan Pavlov. In 1927, he wrote to the scientist that during his stay in Vienna, he had closely communicated with Freudians and attended their meetings. He interpreted the doctrine of psychoanalysis as a superstructure over physiological processes and saw a competent approach to the psychic, or spiritual, as an opportunity to build a society that would satisfy only basic material needs. In a communist society, there will be neither neuroses nor religion, Trotsky dreamed. In 1921, with Trotsky's blessing, the first institution of its kind was opened, the Children's Home Laboratory International Solidarity, designed to create a fundamentally new man. The honor of this transformation initially fell to the children of the Bolshevik elite. Vasily Stalin received his first specific education in this establishment. The primary condition of upbringing was the complete exclusion of parental involvement from the process. Organizationally, the kindergarten operated as a 5-day boarding facility where preschoolers lived during the week and only returned to their parents' homes on weekends. The main large-scale task set before the institution was the liberation of the individual from any social constraints. Children in this kindergarten were allowed to do anything. Teachers were only supposed to observe, explain, and guide. The principles of humanism boiled down to a ban on scolding, criticizing, or shaming the children. This approach was meant to foster the development of a personality free from prejudices from infancy. However, the main emphasis was placed on free sexual development. Neither the naked body nor any manipulations with it were considered shameful. Adults answered any questions on the subject from the children. The scientific and practical work of the kindergarten was headed by Vera Schmidt, wife of the future hero of the Soviet Union and famous explorer, Otto Schmidt. Their son Vladimir joined the first wave of pupils at the home laboratory. The Soviet psychoanalyst Vera Fyodorovna kept a detailed diary of observations of her own child, filling dozens of handwritten notebooks. Some of her notes were used by Korny Tchaikovsky in his book From 2 to 5, as he greatly respected Schmidt's innovative work. Vera Fyodorovna met Freud in person several times and published articles about the work of the psychoanalytic kindergarten. However, her major work, A Mother's Diary, was only published in 2009. The new experience of the first psychoanalytic kindergarten laboratory attracted great interest from the West. The institution was visited by several prominent European psychoanalysts. In the autumn of 1923, Vera Fyodorovna received applause from the audience at an international conference in Germany. where she presented a report on psychoanalytic education of children in Soviet Russia. The first problem the creators of International Solidarity encountered was a high turnover of staff. Few educators could tolerate the unusual rules. Hugging a crying child was, according to Freud, considered a manifestation of unconscious eroticism and was strictly prohibited. Not every teacher could refrain from shaming a misbehaving child. In addition, they had to keep detailed daily records, which staff found the most exhausting part. But the staff shortage soon worsened into a much more serious issue. Rumors began to spread that children were being corrupted in the experimental kindergarten. Communist society did not appreciate the innovative methods and condemned the observed cases of childhood masturbation, which could not be immediately stopped according to the rules of the experiment. Inspections followed. The first revealed that the research work required too much money from the state. The next commission pointed to the low qualifications of the staff and, as a result, the high turnover. The final group of inspectors sealed the fate of the project by confirming the unpleasant rumors. This became the swan song of the 4-year history of raising a new Soviet person, according to Freud. In August 1925, a meeting of the People's Commissariat of Education adopted a resolute decision to liquidate the Psychoanalytic Institute and the International Solidarity Laboratory. The institution was to be reoriented toward traditional kindergarten education. The previous leadership was dismissed, along with most of the staff. From then on, Solidarity was headed by Nadezhda Alliluyeva, the wife of Comrade Stalin.